Let's go out to Woodstock, Georgia, and talk to the mighty Trevor. What's up, Trevor?
Hey, how's it going, Dr. John?
Doing good, my man. What's up?
So my main question here is, how do I rediscover my identity and gain confidence in who I am so I can create a more peaceful life for my wife and myself?
Where'd your identity go?
I don't know. I lost it along the way somewhere.
Take me back on the journey. Where'd you lose it?
So I wrote down a little context. You can stop me at any point. So I've always been like a dream chaser, never really satisfied for the quote normal lifestyle. But over the last 5 years or so, I've been putting on this persona to try and become this badass of a man I thought I really wanted to become. Ended up, hardening my heart, getting really into self-development. I guess it was because that wasn't ever the kind of person I was. I was this like sensitive hipster music type guy. But fitness kind of brought me out of a dark time, got into self-development with that, became a trainer. But the story really starts when I ended up in the Navy SEAL pipeline in 2019. Because that was like the image I wanted to become. But I ended up dropping through a medical discharge. But it's tough to admit, but I'm gotten to a point where I can't admit it. I was really just dropping out. I quit.
Yeah. That's hard, dude. It's hard, but go ahead.
Yeah. So it was a pretty rough experience process just getting out of the Navy. Mm-hmm. That's a whole nother story. And I got home just in time for COVID. So that started, and then I became a firefighter shortly after that. It was about 3 or 4 months after getting back. So I didn't really have enough time to really mentally recover, because it shattered my ego, like all my hope, and who I thought I was becoming just all kind of got shattered. And I just kind of muscled my way through recruit school with the fire department. And I was there for a few years before I ended up leaving that.
Let me just ask you.
Yeah.
Who told you? There's a running ticker tape. You know what that is? Like when you watch the news, that little stock market ticker that runs underneath it just all the time.
Yeah.
There's a running ticker tape in your life, under the story of your life, that says, this guy sucks. Who wrote that? Because you didn't write that. Somebody gave that to you. Who wrote that?
Which time? I think the biggest one was in the Navy separations unit. So
no, dude, we're way before that. Because here's the thing. I have sat personally and hung out with Jocko, and we've talked about what guitars we play. So playing music and lifting weights aren't mutually exclusive. Being in the Navy SEALs and me being a dean of students, man, the furthest thing from being a Navy SEAL. Good grief, man. Those aren't mutually exclusive. That's not the issue here. You think you suck, and I want to know where that story came from. Because you chased it with hipster and clothes, and you chased it with music, and then you chased it with muscles, and then you chased it with David Goggins fantasies, and then you chased it with fire jumping fantasies. You're running from something. What are you running from?
I don't really know. I was the youngest of three boys, and they were really hard on me growing up. But I don't know if that's it.
We could probably talk for hours and unpack it. Here's the deal. Like, you're not a piece of crap, man. And my promise to you is this: 1,000%. If you were I know this because I'm friends with them. If you were a Navy SEAL right now, you still would not like Trevor. Period. If you and you fantasize about this, if at one of the firefights you were involved with, if you saw a baby and you raced in there and got the baby out, because I know you've played that out in your head before, you would feel good for a minute. And then the next day, you would not like Trevor. The crappiest thing about accomplishment is you go with you.
Yeah.
And the crappiest thing about failure is you go with you, right?
Yeah.
So let's take the Navy SEAL experience, right? Most people wash out because it's designed for most people to wash out. And as someone who benefits from having elite military force out there fighting on my behalf, a guy they don't even know, I hope most people wash out because I want those who don't to be, you know what I mean? I remember spending some time with Jocko, and I was like, kind of my thing is like everybody's we're all the same down to the core, right? And then I remember about a half hour in, I was like, oh no, we're different. We're different, right? And so I want that. I'm happy for that. And what about that experience washing out? Weren't you able to go, all right, man, I found my limit. I found the end. And that's awesome. Most men go their whole life and they never know where that end is. They never know what they're capable of, and they never know how far they can push themselves. You found out. So what about that wasn't a celebration? Of course, you want to be a SEAL, and there's some disappointment there. But what about going, all right, I trained as hard as I could, and this is how fast I can run a mile. I know. Why is that?
I guess it confirmed what I was trying to disprove in myself.
That you were some kind of loser?
Yeah.
Where does that story come from?
I don't really know.
All right, so what are you doing now?
So I'm in pest control, but the next part of the story is I'm running an online coaching business, and I'm on my last week of full-time job because I've gotten to a point where I can take it full-time. So that's why I'm really trying to dial in.
I'm going to say something really hard right now, and you're not going to like it. Is that fair? Cool?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask it instead of saying it. Do you have somebody who is running so hard for themselves? Do you have any business coaching other people?
Do I have what?
Any business coaching other people right now?
I mean, I'm having some success.
Of course you are, because you know all the right things to say. You're a real smart guy. And you've watched all the videos.
Yeah, that's definitely a thought I've had.
And let me answer the question.
I'm calling.
Well, let me answer the question for you. If you don't quit on Trevor, the answer is yes. This last book I wrote about anxiety, I ended up leaving my family for a week, and I went to a hotel and checked in and had to write myself out. And I spent time in the hotel gym and in front of a computer 24 hours a day for a week. I went crazy. But I never gave up on myself. I didn't give up on my wife. I didn't give up on my kids. I didn't give up on my community or my friends or my job. I kept going. And sometimes it was one tiny, tiny little step in front of the other, but I didn't quit. And so, did that disqualify me for helping people with emotional and mental health? No. Because I'm on the same path that everybody else is. In fact, I think it gives me some empathy, and it gives me some understanding when somebody calls you and says, hey man, I don't know which way to turn. You can go, dude. I know. But you sound like you were dangerously close to quitting on Trevor.
I don't know. I feel like this is my break to really, reel it in.
I need you to hear me say, the world needs more coaches. Men need to have coaches in their life. And this will not solve you.
Yeah.
This won't heal you is probably a better word. If you get $1 million worth of clients this year, and your take-home salary is $680,000 after taxes, it will not heal you. Your dad's not going to magically pick up the phone and finally say he's proud of you. Your older brother isn't going to finally say, you know what, dude, we were pretty hard on you as a kid. You're awesome. If that call hasn't come yet, that call's not coming. And if it does come only after financial success, it won't feel right. What you have to choose to do is to love and honor Trevor now as you enter into this space. So
what are the steps to do that?
I I don't know you, quote unquote, rediscover your identity. I think you plant a flag in the ground and then you reverse engineer it with a bunch of tiny little actions. And so what do I mean by that? Alex Hermosi was here the other day here at the studios. And I think he's the one who first said this. Confidence, you can't think your way to confidence. You can't just imagine, like, I'm going to be confident. I can fight that guy because your body knows. No, you can't. Or the first jab. What? Remember that Mike Tyson quote? Everybody's got a plan until you get hit in the mouth, and you're like, ooh, all right.
Yep.
That's not confidence. That's arrogance. That's bullheadedness. That's idiocracy. Confidence is, I've trained for 5 years. I've been in a lot of hard sparring matches. I'm good. I can stand in here. Right? That's confidence. Mm-hmm. And so you get confidence by 1,000 little wins. And in your case, you get confidence by, I'm going to show up for Trevor. Not, I'm going to show up for Instagram muscles. And not, I'm going to have the best well-lit coaching photos so I can encourage other men to get other well-lit coaching photos. And you've taken them, haven't you? Yes, you have.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sign up from some other world-class, like 12 people or however many few get through the system a year. And I'm going to hate myself that I wasn't one of the 12. Yeah, I'd be disappointed. Man, you went for it. Most people are such cowards, they never go for it. They never go for it. You did. It doesn't mean you quit. And I'll say this. I think David Goggins is fun. I think the world needs David Goggins. That is not a recipe for a long, healthy life. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have chosen, whether that makes me a weak or a coward or whatever, that one of the hardest paths you can take is to every day be a present father. To every day show up in the boring and mundane and be a present husband. And to do that, to take care of my body and exercise and to get enough sleep and to get off my stupid phone. All those things that you know in the self-development space, but you got to ask yourself, why? For the Instagram photo? Because you think it's going to heal you? Because it's not. It has to be because Trevor's worth it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to ask you to do something I just asked another caller to do that my therapist asked me to do, and it freaked me out. Okay?
All right.
I want you to take your hand and open it as wide as you can and put it right in the middle of your chest. Okay?
All right.
Did you just flex just now when you did that? I'm just kidding. But you probably did. Yeah, I know you did. I knew you did. I knew it. All right, I want you to say out loud, I love this guy.
I love this guy.
Say it one more time.
I love this guy.
Is it true?
Yeah.
How do you love Trevor every day?
I just keep going. Keep taking steps forward.
I'll ask you again because I hope you realize how terrible that answer was.
Yeah, I do.
How do you love Trevor every day?
I appreciate his good qualities. I don't know. I'm bad at this.
All right. I'm going to give you a couple of things. Here's how I appreciate John Delony. Okay? I write down some things that I'm grateful for almost every day of my life. And what that helps me do is realize I am just surrounded by blessing, even when things are sideways and hard. I touch my daughter. I hold her face when she lets me. And I look her in the eyes and I let her know I'm so grateful that of all the crazy people in the world, God picked me to be your dad. And you are really, really strong. And you are brilliant and you're beautiful. And she goes, ugh. And this morning I came out and my son was already writing his book because his parents are nerds. And he was working on something and I started barking at him about the dogs and the chickens and the this and what about that? And come on, man, what about this? And then he opened up, somebody sent me some cereal to try out for a sponsorship and it looked amazing. And I said, hey, you try this out first. And he opened it up and the bag went everywhere. It just exploded. And I looked at him and I made a face that I shouldn't have made. I was disappointed. Like, what are you doing? Like, anyway, he walked back inside and I said, hey, I need to start over the morning. Can we start over? And he goes, what? And I go, can we start over? And he goes, yes. And I went and gave him a big hug and I held it too long. And I said, good morning. I love you. Good to see you. And then I went down and worked out. And I did not want to work out today. I don't feel good. My recovery was 44. I didn't feel like it, but I went anyway. And then I showed up to work on time, prepared. And I could go on and on. That's what I'm telling you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to look good and have muscles? Yes. Do I want my wife to still think I'm attractive? Yes. Am I ever going to be a Navy SEAL? No. Do I hang out with a few of them because it makes me feel cool? Absolutely yes. 100%. 100%. Will I ever be that? No. Is that my calling in life? No, it's not. And I made peace with that a long time ago. But making peace does not mean quitting. Making peace means I love Trevor. I want Trevor to be whole. Okay? So let's start with those few things. Who do I want to be? I want to be a dad who's a good guy. I want to be a husband who shows up and he's present. I want to be a great small business owner, which is what you're going to be doing when you're coaching full time. Cool. Mm-hmm. I'm going to reverse engineer that. What do I need to do every day? My identity becomes a series of actions. What do I need to do every day to become a great present husband? What do I need to do every day to be a great present dad? What do I need to do today to be a great small business owner? Show up for my clients. Start there. What do I need to be a great community member, a great member of my church, a great member, like fill in the blank. But start there. Do those things. And what you're going to find is when you show up for yourself, when you do the things that you told yourself you were going to do, that's confidence. Confidence is well earned. Because at the end of the day, you trust Trevor. When all else fails, Trevor said he was going to work out for 30 days in a row. Even if it was just walking around the block, Trevor worked out for 30 days in a row because Trevor trusts Trevor. That's confidence. Confidence is a huge foundation made up of a bunch of little bricks of you doing what you said you were going to do. And you can look behind you and you got the proof. You can't think your way to confidence. You can't will your way. You can't manifest confidence. You got to go do. I wish it was different, man. I wish it was different. We tried it with the self-esteem movement. Utter failure. Doesn't work. You have to go do. But you also got to do from a place of, I've got value and I'm worth doing it. And you, my brother, are. Hang on the line. I'm going to send you my book also, Building a Non-Anxious Life. I want you to read it. I want you and your wife to read it. I want you all to go through it together. I think it'll make a big impact on your life. And by the way, congratulations for going through the Navy SEAL tryout process. Most men live quiet lives of desperation, and you at least went for it. I'm proud of you.